Right now, as you read this, there is a good chance you are holding it. A meeting is running long. The movie is at the good part. The bathroom is just far enough away to feel like a chore. So you wait. You tell your body, not yet. And your body obediently waits with you. It feels like nothing. It feels like willpower. It feels like the most harmless thing a person can possibly do. It isn't. Under the right conditions, that small ordinary act of waiting can end with a surgeon opening your abdomen at 2 in the morning. It has killed people, healthy people, people whose only mistake was being polite. This is the story of a hidden pressure limit inside your own body, a threshold almost no one has ever been told about, and what happens in the minutes after you cross it. But to understand why waiting can kill you, you first have to understand what you are actually holding. Most people think the danger is an infection. Hold it too long, bacteria breed. You get a urinary tract infection. That is real, and it matters. But it is not the thing that kills you fast. The fast killer has nothing to do with germs, and everything to do with physics. It is about a bag, a wall, and the limit that wall was never designed to cross. So start with the bag. Your bladder is a hollow muscle, a balloon made of tissue that stretches as it fills and squeezes to empty. When it is empty, its walls are thick and folded, like a deflated balloon. As urine arrives from your kidneys, drop by drop, those folds smooth out and the walls stretch thinner. This is the elegant part. A healthy bladder can quietly hold a surprising amount while barely raising the pressure inside. Think of it like slowly inflating a party balloon. For a long time it gives easily, taking more air with almost no resistance. Your bladder does the same trick with liquid. It expands to meet the volume, and it stays calm. But calm is not the same as unlimited. The number that matters is capacity. And your body tracks it with a set of alarms. Stretch sensors in the bladder wall report how full you are. The first quiet signal, that faint awareness, arrives at roughly 150 milliliters, less than a can of soda. A firm get up soon urge lands somewhere around 300 to 400 milliliters. And the loud alarm, the one that makes you cross your legs and walk carefully, usually fires between 5 and 600 milliliters. That last alarm is not your bladder being dramatic. It is your bladder being accurate. It is telling you that the easy stretch is running out, and that from here every extra drop costs more. Here is the threshold. Somewhere past about 600 milliliters, the balloon stops being generous. The wall has thinned as far as it comfortably can, and now the pressure inside starts to climb steeply for every small addition. Push toward the liter, and you're in territory a normal bladder was never built to sit in. There is no single magic number where everyone bursts, and anyone who gives you one is guessing. But the principle is not a guess. Beyond that alarm point, you are no longer feeling a flexible bag. You're pressurizing a rigid one. And the pressurized bag has a weakest point. This is where holding it comes in. When you override the alarm and keep waiting, two things happen at once. The bladder keeps filling from above, because your kidneys never stop working. And the exit stays clamped shut, because you're consciously holding it. Pressure has nowhere to go. It builds against the wall, and it builds hardest at the dome, the top of the bladder, which is the thinnest part and the only part draped by the lining of your abdominal cavity. Overstretched tissue also loses its blood supply, which quietly weakens it further. So you have the thinnest, most stuffed patch of muscle taking the highest load. If that patch tears, the bladder does not leak politely into your pelvis. It splits open into your abdomen, and everything inside pours out where it was never meant to go. Now the physics becomes biology, and it turns vicious. The fluid flooding your abdominal cavity is not clean water. It is urine, loaded with urea, salts, and often bacteria. Your abdomen reacts to that the way it reacts to any contamination of its lining. It inflames. This is peritonitis, and it is a genuine medical emergency. blood vessels leak, fluid shifts, and bacteria that were harmless inside a sealed bladder are suddenly loose in the richest real estate in your body. From there, they can enter your bloodstream. That is sepsis. Your immune system firing everywhere at once, dropping your blood pressure and starving your organs. Meanwhile, with urine backing up, your kidneys can fail from the pressure alone. And this is the cruel part of a burst bladder. The pain can be strangely vague, a general ache and swelling rather than a single stabbing point, so the emergency is easy to miss. Reviews of these cases describe them being misread on arrival more often than not. And where the diagnosis comes late, a large share of patients do not survive. A polite decision to wait has become a race between a surgeon and multi-organ failure, and the clock is not on your side. And this is not theoretical, it is documented and it has been for centuries. In modern medical literature, there is a specific recognized event called spontaneous rupture of the urinary bladder. Cases where an overfull bladder simply gives way. Many of them share one trigger: alcohol. A heavy drinking session produces a flood of urine, dulls the alarm signals so you never feel the warning, and slows the reflexes that would send you to a bathroom.
Doctors have published cases of people who went to sleep drunk with a full bladder and woke in agony with their bladder torn open, urine already spreading through the abdomen. For a long time, physicians assumed a healthy adult bladder essentially could not rupture on its own. The case reports proved them wrong. They were wrong. Go back 400 years and the story is the same. Tycho Brahe, one of the most important astronomers who ever lived, attended a royal banquet in the autumn of 1601. By the etiquette of the table, leaving before the host was unthinkable. So Brahe sat and drank and held it. When he finally got home, he found he could barely urinate at all, only in tiny amounts and with terrible pain. He never recovered. 11 days later, he was dead, at 54. For centuries, people whispered about poison. Modern testing of his remains found nowhere near enough to kill him. The likeliest verdict is far more ordinary and far more unsettling.
One of history's great minds may have been killed by good manners at dinner. Here is the part that should genuinely change how you think about this. The rupture is the dramatic ending, but it is the rare one. The quieter damage is far more common, and it starts long before anything tears. Chronic holders, people who spend years ignoring the alarm, stretch the bladder muscle past the point where it fully recovers.
It can become weak, baggy, and slow to empty.
That leaves stale urine sitting inside, which invites the very infections we started with. And those infections can climb the pipes toward your kidneys. So the honest truth is that most people who hold it are not gambling with a sudden burst. They're slowly wearing out an organ, one polite delay at a time. And a bladder that empties badly today is a bladder more likely to overfill dangerously tomorrow. The rare catastrophe and the common wear are not two separate stories. They are the same story, told at two different speeds. And some people carry far more risk than others. Anyone with a blockage below the bladder, an enlarged prostate, scar tissue, a narrowed outflow, has a bladder already fighting higher pressure just to empty. People who cannot feel the alarm at all, through nerve damage or deep intoxication, can sail straight past the limit with no warning. In every documented tragedy, the pattern is the same.
The bladder filled, the alarm was silenced or unheard, and the exit stayed shut until the wall could not hold. The organ itself is not fragile, it is extraordinary. It only fails when we force it to. So it was never really about the pee. It was about pressure and a limit. And what happens when you decide your convenience matters more than a signal your body spent millions of years perfecting. That urge you keep overruling is not an inconvenience. It is a warning light, wired directly to a system that can, in the worst case, kill you. The next time you are in that meeting, or at that table, or one part away from the end of the movie, and your body sends up the alarm, you already know what it is measuring. It is measuring how close you are to the wall. Now you know where the wall is. Go.